Um, so guess what? I just finished doing a therapy session with my therapist. I thought I was gonna quit and not do them anymore, but because I was doing it for like maybe at least 6 to 9 months last year, it was a requirement, which I was grateful because I didn't have to pay for it. And I tried to get my family to do um, therapy all together or individually, like at least 3 years ago. I needed therapy 5 years ago. I had one session with a lady and that was it. But I see now how helpful therapy would have been for me back then. And I've probably would have made more decisions, like better decisions. Excuse me. So, anyways, I was just speaking with my therapist and I was telling him this story and I see how helpful it is because, therapy, they ask some sort of probing questions and I even started asking myself like root cause questions. It helped me practice being able to find the root cause of something by asking certain questions to myself. And that's why I found like therapy to be like so helpful and I was able to vent as well about certain things. So anyways, I started remembering some of the things that was happening by just simply telling my therapist some of the things that had been going on and what I had been experiencing back around. He laughed when I told him that one of the guys that was trying to get me in their vehicle when they were attempting to traffic me heavily resembled Bobby Brown, and it made me know that this is probably what some celebrities are doing. They're doing gang stalking and helping to traffic people on the low. Cause that dude, he was. I was like, I know this nigga ain't Bobby Brown right here in my face, and don't think that I know who he is. He was dressed in a white shirt. All the black men that were attempting to get me in their cars, they all had white cars. They all were, except for that one issue, that one time by Denny's, there was a man in a black car. But it's the reason why I think that was is because they had been watching me for some time and knew that I knew that they were usually in white cars. They saw that I picked up on the pattern, even the car down the street. So, anyways, that's how what happened was I was explaining to my therapist what was happening, what was going on. Not now, but um, back then, like a year and a half, 2 years ago, like in 2022. Hold on one sec. Okay, let me move because it's kind of glary over there. But anyways, I was telling him what happened, and I was saying that I was trying to explain to him how the gang stalkers play with your psyche, and then after I had got to a certain point, and I started describing to him some of the things that was happening, he was like, "So it's sort of like some sort of like psychological torture." And I was like, exactly. That's exactly what they're doing. I remember I thought about that before, but I couldn't think of the name, what to call it. That's what they do. They do psychological torture to get you to fall to either like spiritual advisor said one time. She was like, they try to get you to kill yourself or do something like that. And that's exactly what they try to do. They either get you to try to commit suicide. One of the gang stalkers told me that they try to scare you into treatment if you're on drugs. But it's funny that he said that because he was a dude that was around here dealing drugs to people on the streets, and he used those drugs. I noticed he had certain people he took off the streets, and he was manipulative. He used them to do certain things for him, and they would accept a little to nothing because they were on the streets strung out on drugs. So that's why I warned you guys before that they do use some homeless people to help gang stalk. And I was describing to my therapist how there's this man David Lofton of the Scottish Rite Freemason Lodge that text me, "I got you right where you are," once I escaped from him trying to traffic me back in Troy, Alabama with one of his brothers, his so-called brothers. I think that was just his, like the Knights Templar, like how they call each other brothers and stuff. Excuse me. Hold on. So, anyways, it was just crazy because he realized I was telling him the story about one of the nights when it was kind of daytime like it is now, and they were following me around from the daytime like this while I was homeless out on the street walking around because the time was up to stay somewhere, to stay at one of the homeless shelters that the place called Family Promise was paying for. They only give you 9 months, but the Hispanic woman, she was kind of rude and careless. She was just doing it for the money. That's why she had that business. But or whatever, she if she was just one of the managers. But the people were crazy. That those women, I don't know if the gang stalkers had got to them too, because they've been watching and followed me. They know what programs. They probably paid them off to allow them to go ahead and gang stalk me. I was staying in the Pepper Tree or Double Tree, not Double Tree. It was Pepper Tree Hotel in Beaverton. That is the one where the Indians own it. I was thinking about something I found out that from using my own tarot cards, that his her husband had a crush on me because it said something about some old man that wished that he could marry me. Oh hell nah, nigga. And it was true because he was the only one. If it was him in the office, he would be the one who was helpful. But if it was the lady, she was kind of a bitch, and I had recorded all that stuff. That's why when those spirits told me that they were trying to get my phones, and they wanted to get my phones, and I was psychologically effed up at the time to the point I finally just gave in. It. I explained how I wind up leaving my phones on the stroller because of the burning type of sensation I felt from whatever that powdery stuff was that they threw on the stroller. I wind up saying, "Man, F it, I gotta leave that behind," because it was like the psychological torture. They even fuck with your dreams. I just remembered something else before I get back to the story of what was going on when the guy who resembled Bobby Brown was walking around. I mean, was driving around. He came back around twice trying to get me to get in his car, but it's because I be hearing people by my apartment door. Like it kind of triggers my like I listen because sometimes people be standing there and they be listening, and I caught a couple times I caught them, but anyway. Well, maybe I should go back to. I'm gonna drift off too far. So let me get back to the part where those people, the Bobby Brown story part, not Bobby Brown. I'm just saying that because I would not be surprised if that really was Bobby Brown in the car doing that. But I ain't trying to get on him like that. But that situation happening was a sign and let me know because I picked up. I was like, is that Bobby Brown? Shit. It couldn't be Bobby Brown, but they come out in Oregon. I mean, if what's his name? Somebody out here in they live in Washington. Is it Jeff Bezos? Because at one point it was like they were psychologically torturing me where I heard Jeff Bezos' voice. He was because I had said something in my mind when I was still in the torture. Not still in the torture. Technically, I was in the torture because one man came and told me what he said they called. It was the same dude that calls himself Darnell Ross. Um, but he said his name was Romello when he first got on the TriMet train. Um, anyways, they weren't expecting for me to put these things together, so to have a memory. But it's like every time I tell my story to somebody different, I remember parts of the story that was on camera, which is why I had the footage because I didn't have to remember. I could just show what happened. But that's why they took the phones because I had too much proof. That's why my phones were stolen, not stones. But anyways, let me just get back to focus. I'll talk about the other stuff as it comes. And when I go back and watch this video, I'll remember some other things that I forgot to say, and then I'll make another video about what I forgot to continue to say. So, anyways, okay, great. My cigar went out, so that's probably a good thing. But anyways, um, so the guy was there was a guy that resembled Bobby Brown, and I was telling my therapist about how that guy came twice circling around on the freeway, like kind of by like if you're trying to go to Walmart off 82nd, and then there's this bridge that crosses the highway that goes towards that part to go to 82nd. I don't know, I can't remember, but I remember I had through my tarot cards, the ones that were on Amazon, I had ordered the Angel Answers one, the one that there's a review where a woman said that she felt some wicked spirit, like an arrogant spirit or something like that. And I remember I felt that energy too. I was like, ugh, I don't like that. And I thought it was because the people that was cleaning the rooms in the hotel came to clean my room, and they touched the cards because I left them there, um, at the Pepper Tree Hotel in Beaverton. I think it's not. It might be Pepper Hill, Pepper Tree or Pepper Hill, but they're right off. They're right off of where a freeway is. And one day I could go there, and I was talking about how the old man had some feelings because at that time I made my own tarot cards too. After I threw those cards away, but I made my own cards where it had statements on it, And that's how I figured out kind of what was going on around me too, because I was like, I was wasting too much money trying to get tarot readings, but I did put some money in their pockets at that time. Like, I won't say their names, but y'all know who they are though. The one, because on other videos I tell you about the ones who was very helpful to me that I got readings from. It was two women. It was three actually. Um, Except for one woman, she was just a little bit off on one of the things she said. No, actually, I take that back. She was correct, but I feel like they were watching and monitoring, so they made it longer than what she said. It was going to be 2 weeks, and that was Miss what's her name? Um, and not intuitive goddess. It's the white woman that she's country. She almost sound black, and she almost looked like she got black in her, even though she white. I wouldn't be surprised. I remember my son. I was trying to remember who she was, and all of a sudden, my son had the phone, and he accidentally found her channel somehow. I'll when if I figure out, it's because I can see her face now, but I can't remember what her name was. Like, um, not high priestess intuition. It was like, oh dang, I can't remember. It's like it'll come to me, but I see her face. Y'all know it's a white lady. She sometimes wearing. She have that real calm southern country voice, and she almost talk kind of like black folk talk, but she a Caucasian woman. I'll link her. I'll find her channel, goddess or something like that. Intuition. I forgot the name. But anyways, I'll see her face. I'll just type in and then find it on YouTube and then link it in the bottom in the description box. But yeah, anyway, she has said something about in 2 weeks. It what she said was gonna happen in 2 weeks. It did happen, but it took like I think a month later or 2 months later. Uh, After that, but it did happen. It was less than 2 months. Sorry, I have something stuck in my tooth here. But yeah, anyways, let me get back to that. The memory that was triggered from me telling my story to my therapist. So what happened was, I remember telling him about these black men that was following me. It started with the guy who resembled Bobby Brown, trying to. I told him the second time around that the guy who resembled Bobby Brown came around. He took the Bluetooth speaker headset off of his neck, and he was shaking it at me violently, like, I got my wife on the phone. Like, that's supposed to make me feel safe to go ahead and get in the car with him. He was too adamant about me getting in his car. Like, damn, I told you no, man. You don't care about my black ass like that. Because that's why I knew something was wrong, because it was black men that's acting like they was helpful all of a sudden. That's where y'all fucked up, because y'all know these niggas out here don't care about black women. They want to go and use the white woman and then act like they putting her on a pedestal, but they actually just using her as. Because of the stuff that they talk about when they not in their presence, when they talking to other women that they think they don't care about, like they see us as one of the niggas sometimes when we hanging out with their ass. I know, because I didn't hung out and talked to some OGs back and at that time before I cut people off. But and they was some. I saw their true character of who the type of person they really were. That's why I stopped dealing with they ass. They was OGs who was gangsters and stuff, but they still was some bitch ass niggas when it came down to it. When it came down to certain things, I'm like, damn, nigga. Like that song said, only bitch ass niggas break the code. That Big Boogie. He said, only bitch ass niggas break the code, or something like that. And I was like, that's right, baby. I had paid attention. I realized he said my favorite word to call some of these niggas out here that be acting hella feminine, but want to act like they macho, but they real sensitive, and they act real feminine when it comes to their emotions and how they feel with certain things, their lack of emotional intelligence, how they act like the very bitches that they be talking about. But anyways, so the Bobby Brown looking man was upset and trying to adamantly get me in his car. I wouldn't do it, and when I definitely wasn't finna do it. When I turned, and some told me just turn and look back, I started looking around to see why he was so adamant to try to get me in his car. And then I saw a white older Honda looking. It was probably a Toyota Camry, an older Toyota Camry. You know, with the wide trunk body. That's kind of, and it looked flat, and it has like the pointed end, the pointed front end. It was one of them those type of white cars, and it had the hazard lights blinking on the side of the road with the trunk open. And now that I think about it, I'm like, I know y'all don't think I'm finna go with you now. And I see the direction you came from, and then it's another white car down there with the trunk open. Do y'all really think I'm finna get up in your car and then possibly the child lock be on and I can't get out the car? And I thought about it. I was like, well, let me get up in this car, and if and figure out, like, if I didn't have my son, I would have tested it out. If he had if he got me in his car and I saw he was in there by himself and nobody was probably in the trunk, I would have gotten the seat behind his ass. And if I couldn't get out and I picked up on some change and I saw him trying to act different, yeah, baby, I'm sitting behind you. You can figure out what I was getting ready to do. So instead of me getting in the car, I was like, oh, no, thank you. Oh, no, thank you. Yeah, thank you, sir. We're okay. That's how I acted to try to not let him be too alarmed that I peeped what was going on. So he got upset. Like, damn. And then so he went straight to get like, and when you go by that area, the highway that we was crossing on the bridge, it leads to where this Lowe's is. And like you make a right, and then you go, it's like you go down a hill and you can go back up, but there's a Lowe's store right there. One of these days I might go over there and show you guys the area, because not far from that Lowe's is the apartment complex of this couple that was actually walking up from a Lowe's parking lot, and the men keep following me. And then there was another white car that looked like a Chevy, not a Chevy, a Chevy Impala or a Chevy Malibu, one, the newer looking one, but it was white. But it then there was that guy. He was already on that street waiting. And I was like, how they got this stuff so well orchestrated like this to be some dumbass niggas? Because they've been doing it for a long time and getting away with it because it was a clever ass plan. But I had seen how they was operating. And then I saw this white couple walking up, and they was wearing the colors red and blue too. So I said, I wouldn't be surprised if these people are in on it, because it made me alarmed. But I still asked them anyway. I was like, can I please walk with you guys, because there's these men that's following and walking. They're stalking us, and they're trying to get us in their car, me and my son. My son was like, I don't even think he was a year old yet. He wasn't. Because when I was homeless at that time, I think he was about 6 months old. We was homeless till between the months of 6 and 8 months old. He was at the time, and I was protecting my baby. Okay, I might have been out there on the streets, but But yeah, so anyways, I didn't trust being in certain places because I was being gang stalked at every facility that those resource centers was paying for us to stay in. And Portland Rescue Mission declined, and there was something significant about Portland Rescue Mission. Dion Gillock is the lady that's in head of charge of that, and I found out some more information about her as well, using the tarot cards, and like on the reason why they declined me coming there to stay there when I was homeless and I was waiting for housing, because I was approved for a voucher that was good for 2 years, but I was looking for a place to stay. And like the places that I went to go look at, and I feel like they were part of the gang stalking too. Like for instance, Quatama Crossing having it on their website that there was a bedroom available, but they kept telling me it wasn't. And I was like, well, y'all need, in my mind, I was like, y'all need to update your shit. I was like, I see what these motherfuckers are doing. They think they slick, motherfuckers. I hated that bitch in there with the long black hair. She probably had extensions in anyways, but it's just like some of these people have a nasty attitude, and it's people like that I worked with. That's the reason why I got fired, because I was an upright motherfucker working up in that bitch, and they hated when people was recognizing me as the manager when I was just one of the associates, the leasing agents. And I was like, you one of them Amy Monroe motherfuckers that worked for GSL Properties. I had confronted, I wrote out a long ass paper. I think I still have the letter, actually, copies of the letter that I wrote and sent to GSL Properties. People there, they said that those women got fired. But yeah, anyways, and side note is people that's leasing agents, they do favoritism. So when you looking for a place to stay, these motherfuckers ain't, they picking and choosing who they want to stay up in there, and they're doing it out of order. Because I'll tell that story again another time about why they had gotten rid of me. And I faced it. I had situations that happened like this to me at several different jobs, when the people could tell I was the upright, truth telling MFer, and they did not like it. I was like on point. The people respected me. Everybody in that whole neighborhood at Willow Creek apartments next to Willow Creek Transit Center, those people was loving me. They'll be like, hey girl, they was saying all kind of stuff because I gave them up top notch customer service. I informed them everything they need to know. I kept it real with them about what it is, what they need. I had gave them all the information. They was like, oh, they was like, I see you, baby. They was like, all people in the ladies in the office, they did not like that. But anyways, back to the story. Those two people that were walking up from the Lowe's parking lot, um, they walked me to where they live, and they went in their apartment. I saw what apartment they went into. I was later gonna one day go back and tell these people I finally got my own place and that I wasn't crazy, because it's almost like they was kind of nervous about it. But I said these people might be in on it too, because they wearing the blue and red, and I talked about how um, some of the reds was posing as blues because they were that's what happened. That's when I first started getting GameStop from Elaine Higgins and Pound. And guess what? Pound motherfucking ass, he a cousin, or he's some type of, he related somehow to a nigga I was dating. See, I'm saying that for a reason, y'all, because it be connected. They motherfucking ass be connected. It's somebody. That's how I've been picking up on other individuals' energy in these motherfuckers' energy that came to me. I'm like, I don't know why this motherfucker got heavy Anthony energy in him, which is my baby dad, which was a dude who was on the bus 52 route. And he wasn't there no more after I kept declining to go for it on a date. I think they positioned him there on that route specifically because they knew I took that bus. So they put him there, and then he wanted to ask me on a date. I was like, hell no. Nah. And I freaked out, and I told another lady at the hotel I was staying at, I don't know if it was the Best Western or something. It was near the Beaverton Transit Center, not too far from Beaverton Transit Center. The one right next to Black Bear Diner. For those of you who live down there, y'all know where I'm talking about. That lady, she was like, he probably just thought you were a beautiful woman. I was like, lady, you just don't know. It was more. It was more to that. And I think she kind of knew what was going on because she kind of peeked it. She was like, yeah, there's all kind of weird stuff that's been going on lately around here. But anyways, and then next thing you know, they was starting to fuck with the fire alarms at every hotel we went to so that we could be waking up and getting out the bed. It was psychological torture. They made other people go through it. And then too, but sometimes the other people were in on it. I could tell. I picked up on that, especially from this old ass couple that had white hair. I was like, I know y'all some Masonic motherfuckers, and you a Eastern Star ass bitch. But I didn't say that. It's just I looked at them and I peeked them. I didn't say a word though. I already knew. It's like I picked up on it intuitively from their energy, from their aura or whatever. And they weren't very good at cloaking their energy. Maybe a couple of them were, but anyways, the couple that I walk with from the Lowe's parking lot, when those black men were following me trying to get me in their car, I told them a little bit about what was going on, and then it was like, yeah, man, some crazy stuff going on out here. And the way they were interacting with me is like they kind of knew what was going on too, but they was trying to, or also one of them did, but the other one thought I might have been crazy. So they still allowed me to walk with them though, which I did. And I walked. I said, okay, well, they asked if we wanted to come in or something. I had said no, and then they invited us over to like they I just told not to invited us over, but invited us to stay around there. But I had a feeling that they said they was gonna go back out to the store all of a sudden, and that was my cue. I'm like, nah, let me get up out of here in this area, because it was a good safe area. And sure enough, when I had walked out, then some man just walks out the bushes as I was walking by, but I wasn't afraid. So he walked out and he just stood there, because the fear, I didn't have enough fear for him to do whatever he wanted to do. He just stood there. I was like, what the fuck? Like, you walking out, and then I saw these two men messing with a 18-wheeler truck that was parked on the side, and they was lifting up the 18-wheeler and doing some work on it or something. Like, and I was like, it kind of made me nervous at that time, because I was like, just imagine had I, like, what if they were trying to get me up in that 18-wheeler? But that part, I think I was kind of crazy. Like, but I was still very cautious though, just in case, because it was nighttime by that time, and I was walking. I kept going back and forth. I was trying to figure out what to do. And the one thing that I remembered while talking to my therapist was the fact that these people had went and put angel numbers messing with it, and it was like, go this way. They were playing a fucking game, and that's the thing. That's how I knew the woman that was walking with the man, she knew what was going on. She was like, it's like they're playing some type of psychological numbers game with you or something. And the way she said it, it's like she was excited, like she knew what the fuck was going on. But I was like, okay, because and then the other people that was following me, like the black dude that was in the Impala or the Malibu, he is like he was watching in his rearview mirror. He saw that I started talking to them, and he felt, and it's like I picked up on, it's like telepathically, that he was like, okay, well, he talking to them. So he had started going away a little bit. Like he started driving faster once he saw me talking to them, but then those people was still circling back around and driving back and forth on that road, trying to see if they saw me so they could try to pick me up. And then they had all kind of shit happening. They were playing a numbers game, how, because I had it all on footage. Now I remember. Thank you, God. Thank you, Jesus, for reminding me about it, like letting it come back to me all of a sudden. Because I remember on every, like, when you go press the walk sign, the walk button so you can cross the street, they had numbers written like four, like 333, 222, 666, and and they didn't put 777. It was numbers like that. They put, it was like angel numbers written, and then it was like an arrow that would be pointing on it. It would be like to go that way or to go this way, and it had an arrow underneath each number, and it was like a game. I knew they was playing a game, and I couldn't figure out which way to go. I was trying to figure out which way to go, and then by me trying to figure out which way to go, that's how they kept like watching me and follow me on the street, because they knew how smart I was, but they was trying to fuck me up and like get me stuck, and it kind of worked. But then I was like, and it was messing with my mind, and they kept doing stuff like that, psychological mind games. And that's how I knew that somehow spiritually, like how people access akashic records and stuff, I said I have a feeling like it's like they have a spiritual map, like they know where I'm gonna be at spiritually, and so they go there before me and write little messages and shit, and they put it there. And so when you read it, it's gonna fuck with your mind. But the more that stuff was happening, and I saw how God was protecting me, I got less and less and less afraid and less fearful. So that's when they started losing their power, because they needed the fear to. And it's like I could see them like rubbing their hands together, like, we got her. Like, it's like I could feel that type of energy, and I was like, I know that these people are fucking with me. And I am not surprised that there was police officers that were involved in going right along with them. That's why I don't have respect for some of these motherfuckers, and that's why they stay the fuck away from me, because they already know. Y'all niggas know what's up. You been watching me. You know what the hell I've been saying in private, niggas. Y'all know me. You don't want none of this. You didn't already seen it for yourself 2 times, and that's because of the grace of God. Is I told them, when I say God's strength comes upon me, all of a sudden it's God's strength that comes upon me. So yeah, they were playing a numbers game with me. They was writing angel numbers, like number sequences down: 111, 222, 333, 666, 555. And they wrote it perfectly. And I know that they let some homeless bitch ass motherfucker do it, just like they wrote gypsy on the apartment complex, and they were upset too, might I add. I had recently met up with this Caucasian male who had interest in me being his girlfriend, and I put him up on game because God's have a calling on his life as well. But it's like they was trying to gang stalk. It was 3 cars. It's always three. It was 3 cars, and I was like, "What the f?" And I looked toward. We were parked at the 3030 Northeast Weidler, Fred Meyer, and then they start trying to gang stalk over there. But it's like since they started doing that mess while he was there, and lo and behold, he started opening up to me about what was happening around him too, with some stuff that was going on. So that gave me the opportunity to put him up on game about certain things that had been transpiring in my life. And then by the time I finished explaining so much to him, he's like, he's told me later on that night, he was like, he said, I think you're on a higher level than I am, because of the stuff that I told him that I had endured by the grace of God. So and I could feel it in the energy that those spirits, those evil wicked spirits, was upset that I had already let him know what's happening, so that it basically disarmed them from being able to use anything else to freak him out while he was walking with me. He freaked out. So so anyways, I was just thinking of something, and I was like, if those people ever do that, I feel like they already know what I'm gonna do if they had did the unthinkable thing that I think of. I think they already know. That's why they didn't do it. And God probably knows too, so he's protecting me, so he didn't allow it to happen. There's 2 things in my mind right now that I was thinking about, and I think he knows. Hey, that is, he's saying he knows reminds me of something about the text message that Ronnie Jean Franklin told me about. That he said he was typing a message, but he woke up and there was this message on his phone that he didn't know. He said it said she knows, she knows. That's all it said. And he said that was freaky. And the way he said it is like, when I look back on it, it was an old ass man. It was an old black man that was kind of just like Bubba Riley. He freaked out when he didn't get his way because he was trying to control me. Like, niggas, I already know y'all niggas is trying to do some shit you ain't got no business doing anyways. That's why I'm giving you so much pushback and being stubborn. You think I don't know what you've been here to do? It's like you come in my energy. You think I can't pick up on that? I see what you're doing. So yeah, I might chill with you, let you cook my steak on the grill and all that other stuff because you think that you finna butter me up so you can do something for the final countdown. That's the final countdown. Okay, just playing. I used to sing that song randomly at times when it was time to go home when I was working. But yeah, I thank God because I know I'm not crazy now. Like, you have to be, I believe God gave me a spiritual intelligence to figure some of this stuff out because he made me for this. This is probably what my job is to do, to put everybody else up on game about what's going on by telling my story about what the things that happen and connect the dots for people. So when I tell my story, you guys can know what's going on in your own lives when you're being gang stalked and how to not be afraid. And when you peep and you realize what's really going on, they lose their power and then they start doing stupid shit that don't even look right no more. And that's why they stop walking around. I do not see anybody walking around with empty Target bags anymore. They tried it a couple days ago, and I was like, nigga, don't even try. I say stuff. I'll be like, oh, you a Target? Oh, okay. Thanks for letting me know. Stuff like that, I'll say. And then they stop. But when I say stuff like this, like if you feel like I'm feeling like cocky and arrogant, like I'm feeling confident, like I won this game that they've been playing with me, and I turned it right back around on them where it backfired. It's like they try to go do something else, but because I voice it and I know it, it's almost like they don't do it because it's like they know, and I'm gonna figure it out. I'm gonna put it together. I'm gonna put the pieces of the puzzle together and connect the dots of who was involved and who did it. And they already know that if I know I park my car in front of the cameras and the people refuse and they make it challenging for me to get access to the information of who it was, then they automatically know that I'm gonna know that they had something to do with it, either by being they're guilty by association, by technically being paid off in some kind of way to agree to let whatever goes down go down. Like if I say like somebody car was missing and they there was a camera there, but instead of them being helpful to let you get access to the video footage to help you out to figure out who it is, they'll make it challenging for you until you need to go get a lawyer. Then when you get a lawyer, they're still not going to give you the video footage. I was being gang stalked even when the car came to hit me off my bike at Fred Meyer's March 14th in 2013 or 2014, and Steven Smucker had resigned from my case, and I knew he was being a dumbass bitch too. That's why he resigned from my case, because I'm like, nigga, you ain't doing none of the shit you said you was gonna do. And then I was starting to question him about some stuff. I didn't say, nigga, you ain't doing the shit that you ain't doing, but he just resigned from the case because he thought that I was giving him trouble about asking him, like, because he wasn't really descriptive about letting me know what's going on 3333. But I found another lawyer after that anyways. I always remembered Steven Smucker as a piece of trash, shitty ass lawyer. But he worked downtown by the Chase Bank in that tower upstairs in the tower. So I already peep game that he wanted them demonic motherfuckers. And then there was another one, he was going like this on the paper while he was reading. So I knew he was a Mason too. Because he'd think I didn't peep that out, but it was Steven Seal. It's funny how both of the lawyers was Steven. But anyway, Steven Seal I think got the information from Steven Smucker, and Steven Smucker put Steven Seal up on some game, and that's why they did made my case go the way they did for the personal injury protection shit. Um, they think I don't know, but nigga, please, the two little white men, they probably booty busted each other. Um, Anyways, I don't care what y'all say about it. You can get mad all you want to. I feel that energy. I feel it. Cause y'all demons is watching. That's why I know they connected to y'all niggas. So I did get a little money from the cases. Now I know those accidents where I survived and the bike looking all effed up, but all I had was a scar on my thigh, and I had to recover from plantar fasciitis and some other stuff. But I'm hit off my bike with wearing no helmet or nothing, and I still survived. My brother just recently got hit off his bike, and I was like, are they trying to gang stalk my brother too? My other brother, him. I don't know if he want me to say his name, anyways, I was concerned because something didn't sound right about his story either. He told me recently that the people said it was also his fault too, because of something. But your cars are usually supposed to yield to people on bikes. And the other dude, it was funny. That was God when I had that accident though, because that man wanted to take off so bad when he hit me in the Fred Meyer parking lot, and so a man from across the parking lot, way over somewhere else. He was like, somebody call the police or somebody call an ambulance and get her some help. That man couldn't leave at that point when I was on the ground, and the people told me not to stand up. I knew I was fine. Well, I felt fine anyway. She was like, yeah, people feel fine, but so you need to still lay down until we make sure that you're okay. And I felt the presence of God. I knew that there was an angel in that back of that ambulance with me. I'll never forget it. I knew it because I started smiling. I was like, "There's an angel in here with me right now." But anyways, there's been they're trying to their biggest way how they try to kill you is if they can't do it sneaky because you're smart enough then like to not trust certain people food at a certain time all of a sudden, or they can't kill you by getting you to come go to a beach trip with them, like a woman who stays here tried to get me to do, and she was like, honey, yeah, you're right, Aaron. I know y'all niggas know I know, motherfuckers. And then you still have the audacity to ask me for money. That's why it was so hard for you to ask me for money. You think I don't know, white woman, Aaron. Everybody who went through that shit that was involved, they going through some sort of karma, and that I witness it. And I still sometimes will help them too. That's what heap coals over their MF and head. You need money. I feel like if God blessed me to have extra money at that time, I'll go ahead and give you some. But I ain't doing that stuff no more unless God leads me and directs me to do something. Like they try to get me to go on a beach trip to find a gay dude that was dressed as a woman. And I just knew it was a setup because he wanted to take me out to Sauvie Island to go look for him instead of getting the police involved and some other people that actually know who he is. And it was gay men who were gang stalking me, especially the black ones. I knew it just by looking at them. That's how I found out about Damon being a gay ass nigga. The one who asked me, "Do you live here?" I'm like, "Bitch, nigga, do you think I'll be walking around in the hallways if I didn't live here with my son?" You letting motherfuckers that don't live here up in your house because you dealing drugs. That's why they got kicked out because there was meth on their walls. One of his friends told me that, which was the dyke woman that dressed like a man who got mad at me because I no longer want to engage in sexual activities with her as a gay female. I just wanted to be friends. I was trying to change from that lifestyle because I only did it testing it out, seeing if I was actually gay like that. But I feel like I was bisexual, but I was asking God to deal with me on that because it just wasn't. I didn't feel right doing it, and it's a couple times, and every time it's the stuff fell through. I'm just adding all kind of stuff in this 3838. I'm adding all kind of information on this video, ain't I, baby? I gotta expose myself too, shit. I ain't trying to hide shit. Y'all ain't finna hear nothing that come out somebody else's mouth that's true and I don't back it up. If it's not true, I ain't finna back that up. I'll tell them myself. That's what they hate too, because I'm so honest. Like, nigga, you ain't doing nothing by trying. That's why they had to make lies and rumors up, because they know I'll tell them my own self in a heartbeat. I ain't trying. What I'm scared of you for? If I'm the one who's gonna die in this body, you ain't me, and you gonna die one day in your body. I'm not finna do something to appeal to y'all ass. Not no more. I used to be a people pleaser to the max. That's why some of these people was able to manipulate and use me so much, and then they got mad once I started to get a backbone in the last 3 years. Since I was like 28 or 29, I started to have that stronger backbone. I'm 31 now though, so anyways, y'all, I just the main reason why I wanted to tell this, make this, uh, I was gonna say story, was to explain how. Oh yeah, sorry about that stuff piled up over there in the background. Things kind of got out of hand. I haven't been. I wasn't really. Well, anyways, forget that. Things happen when I wasn't here, and when the time when I did come home, I just threw stuff around. I usually keep it really clean, but there's been a lot going on, and sometimes I be like, you know what, F it, I'll do it later. I'm going to sleep. I cherish my sleep now because of the time when at least getting some type of rest. Because if I had gotten more rest at the time instead of staying awake and freaking out, that time, that thing that happened on December 25th on Christmas, because the spirits even warned me. They said they want to make a sacrifice. Y'all motherfuckers is done. Game over. You're through. You're finished. It's over. Just like y'all niggas was telling me. I'm talking about them demons. hmm So I feel like that's it. The main reason was just to tell you guys about how they was playing psychological mind games, just like some of these toxic men do. They are demonic. They were writing numbers at certain locations on the crosswalk. I don't see that shit no more. So they were doing it actively at that time. And just imagine how many people went who died because of these type of people doing that shit, and they didn't know how to explain what was going on because they knew someone would think they're crazy, and they didn't know how to articulate what was going on to them and even remember enough stuff to put the pieces of the puzzle together to connect the dots. That's why I'm doing this, and I don't care what nobody say. You can go ahead, do whatever y'all think y'all want to do, because there's some shit I know y'all niggas did already, and I'm still here right now. So I'm gonna do what God want me to do until it's my time, my actual time to leave this earth. And I already tried to twice and was disappointed and saw that I still was here. I didn't want to come back here. But since I'm here now, and now I have a kid, I want to make sure I do what it takes to make sure things are in place for him before I leave. Before God takes me somehow, some way. And also, I want to remind you guys that sometimes the people that is dating you is true that they're demonic. Like there's this man named he was in Valdosta, Georgia. He went by Zanamuzi. His name is Quentin Robinson. He knew a woman that was named Star that he was dating, and he told me about the spiritual rituals that he was putting on her. And when I think back about the things he said and he shared with me about what he was doing to her because of the stuff she was doing, there's people out there putting witchcraft on people for simple things that don't even it's not even necessary to do things with, like things too. I meant to say, like he would tell me about the rituals. He went to a library and got a witch book. This nigga don't even know how he fucking up his own life. And he got with a white woman too and had a baby, but that bitch don't even know his motherfucking ass is gay. He likes men. He already told me he got raped at a party. They raped him, but later on, it's like in my spirit, I felt like, nigga, you basically told me you had sex with a man. I could tell that was the truth. He tried to act like it was just a rape thing that happened, but I already picked it up intuitively. And he knew that I had supernatural abilities. And I told him about the spirit that I seen in his house, and he didn't see it. And then he called me back and later told me he had seen it. I was still in Oregon. He was in Valdosta, Georgia. It was in the spirit realm that I saw that entity in his home. And he used to do rituals, and he had a cat named Bandit. And the white woman, the white little girl, she was a little younger than I was, maybe 2 or 3 years younger, and she was trying to get an attitude with me because I was telling her the truth about what was going on, and she was trying to figure out why he was so pressed about me. I was one of them 4414. I was one of them bitches that was helping his ass out. My mom kicked me out the house because I was sending his black motherfucking ass money while his trashy ass was out down there flexing on y'all hoes. with the money I gave him that I worked hard for. That's why niggas like him always was trying to come to me in my life. That's why I don't trust black men like that. I see the shit that they do and how quick and easy they are to betray their own. So, but I could, and it was funny because it's two gay men that actually, maybe three, because my baby died, that they actually start to get feelings for you and actually love you and care for you. But then it's like they jealous and hate you at the same time. I don't get them type of people. It's completely demonic. That's the people that I call Decepticons. But yeah, I feel some sort of peace and release from saying that. That's how I know I'm on the right track. And y'all niggas best believe I'm ready for y'all with y'all when y'all coming with them so called whatever you want to do in court and shit. Fuck y'all. After all the shit that I endured with y'all niggas, I know it's not gonna go in your favor. And if it looked like it go in your favor, it's gonna wind up going back in my favor. Cause I was one of them women that was quiet and endured shit and didn't say a motherfucking thing to nobody about a lot of shit. And now y'all left me no choice but to reveal it. You kept fucking with me. The shit wouldn't have got out if you left me to fuck alone. Playing in my energy too much, manipulating and doing shit you ain't got no business doing. And then think it's not gonna backfire on you because you didn't got away with it in the past. Y'all niggas so stupid you think you so spiritual and high and mighty that you don't even know about some of the shit that you should know about given the fact of the information. That's why I say I ain't being no motherfucking Mason. Because if y'all motherfuckers was so high and spiritual, even y'all so called 33rd degree motherfuckers, you wouldn't be doing half the shit you're doing. It's like y'all niggas wanted this shit to come out. And you know what? I know they do because they tired of doing the shit they do and they want somebody to reveal and tell on their ass because they can't do it. So I'll do it for you. Um, and David Reed, for Reed Plumbing, he knows that I know he was in on some of the stuff too because his actions started changing. He was a very polite gentleman, white guy. And then all of a sudden he'll do fuck shit that don't make no damn sense. And then lied and told me he was not married. And then one day his wife come a calling and he talk about some his wife is with a black man, so he going out there being with a black woman. He deal with black women. And then he so called fell in love with this 18-year-old girl. And I knew that shit wasn't gonna work out for his ass because of how he treated me and other women. And then taking videos like Robert Porter taking videos of me without my permission, sexual videos of me naked and shit, and keeping it on their phone and somehow other people seeing it. I'm like, nigga, how did Muba get your phone? Mubarak, married, who not married, but he uses a white girl that's a nurse named Sunny, poor lady. She don't even have self worth. She keep tolerating this trashy ass black dude who's fucking on everybody, and now she think fucking on other people too is gonna get his attention and make him stop. Is not. And he's very disrespectful to black women. He talks shit about black women. And not only does he do that, he treats his white women like trash behind her back. And he even fights her in front of her face. And Robert Porter goes there and he witnesses it and tries to stop him. And that's why he stopped hanging around. That idiot. That's why he flipped him off that time. You guys are all trash. And then you want to call each other friends. Birds of a feather flock together. These niggas was young, and then Robert Porter was trying to talk shit about me. All of a sudden he made their age way younger to make it seem like I was fucking on young niggas, and I wasn't even fucking on all of them. It was like two of them. I didn't know they were connected at the time. That's why I stopped dealing with black men altogether. They go around fucking on women, and then they try to talk about her and mix it up like she a hoe, and they'll send another nigga to go to her, and then be like, man, she fucking on all of us, lying ass niggas. That's why I had stopped talking to Robert Porter for some time. Cause they be doing little bitch shit out there, talking shit about women when they're the ones who the hoes. And he was trying to talk some shit about me being older than them and they're younger. But I was like, nigga, if they just not too long ago got out of high school, but they was older than what, like it didn't make sense. He was like saying something about them just getting out of high school. The story didn't make sense. He was a manipulative ass bitch ass nigga. Just like he said, he realized he was treating the white lady good. He didn't put his hands on her, but he beat the shit out the black woman. And what he said was because the cops wouldn't mind if he did it to the black woman. That's why. Little evil motherfucker. That's why I said I'll slit his motherfucking throat and knock on his door and wait till he open the door and gut his ass. Is a vision I had. That's why I said I have to leave this man alone because I might wind up killing his ass if he do the wrong thing coming over here to fight me again. He already saw in the past I grabbed the knife. I was gonna take his ass out. You trying to fight me? My eye was all fucked up and shit. The mama just sat there like a petty bitch, didn't do his shit. You see how violent your son is, and he told me, "So, oh my baby." That's manipulation too, because her son is the only one she really have in her corner to back her up, because she wouldn't have a place to live or a pot to piss in if it wasn't for him, because of the decisions that she makes. And I'm not saying that to talk down on a woman, but I'm just saying sometimes the things that people do, like it's like she excused it because it's about like it's her son and she relies on him, so she has to tolerate the same way she tolerated her trashy ass boyfriend that she had him with. There's women out here like that. I don't respect those kind of women no more, because you raise up these men and then you excuse their behavior just because they're your child when it's not right, and just because you want to use them and you need them. So I love my son though. Yeah, because if it wasn't for him, you wouldn't have shit. And he going out there, he might treat his mom good to and I like that about him. But that I'm saying this story so you guys know, just because a man treats his mom well doesn't mean he'll treat you well. Because he's shitty. He hates women. Like men like him, I'm guessing like my baby dad said, they're closet fags. They like booty. That's why they always trying to rush me to get in my ass. I'm like, no. They want to get so mad. They want to try to get all up in your ass and stuff and get mad if you don't. And then be talking, oh man, your butthole's bigger. I think you didn't let another nigga in there, but you ain't let me in there. I ain't let nobody in there. Like, stop saying it. Was just toxic, disgusting, shitty shit. And these are the type of men that were involved with the gang stalking. And that's why I'm saying this shit, all of their names. Because I'm tired of it. I know everybody who had a hand in doing the shit. Even years ago, because I remember certain things that I took a mental note of and just never said anything. And I kept it in mind until later it made more sense to see why it stood out and was so significant, even though it seems so small or not so significant at the time. So, all y'all trashy ass niggas is going down spiritually. We had enough. That's my son's Hot Wheels stuff. My dad got that for him. We're still putting it together. And there's certain things that happen at certain times, like right before the death of my mom and right after the death of my mom. The people who was involved who kept stalking me and trying to follow me. Robert Porter. You thought I didn't know, honey. I do. Wasn't I so clever and I played along so well? I was only testing to make sure I was correct in my findings. This nigga put, and every person I talked about on here that I said their names, these are people who go and tell other people's business and they start rumors on other individuals getting. Now I see how the gang stalking starts because of the stuff I've seen those men do. They go telling everybody motherfucking business. You like, why is that even important? Why did I have to know that? Why did you have to tell me that? Because I was basically, my mind saying, is this a bitch ass nigga or what? Because he's pillow talking and he's talking about other people's stuff. And sometimes when they talk, it's almost like if you pay attention, you can tell they might like a dude that they're talking about. Like, yeah, this nigga that. Um, and it's like the stuff they say and how you could tell when they talk about certain subjects how it touches their heart about certain things. And I'll be like, that's how you be picking up on stuff. You be like looking at these people like they think I don't know, but I'm already, and I'm not even a psychologist, but it's like I was a natural at psychology. I didn't even go to school for that. So if I went to school to be a psychologist, I'll be a damn good one. because I used to be observant and people watch and keep all the patterns of behaviors in my mind of the type of people who did certain types of things. That's why it got to the point now I can just look at someone's demeanor and tell that why they are the way they are and what might be going on in their life and how they might be thinking and the things that they may do in a certain circumstance, whether they're a cop, a judge, a doctor, a nurse, I should say police officer, a security officer, a cashier, a janitor. Doesn't matter. That's why one officer was like, "How did you know I was off duty police?" It was just in his aura. I can't really explain it. Just looking at his demeanor and then picking up on intuitively is like I knew he was a police officer. These people tried to kill me before with car accidents that I survived. I was supposed to be dead off of Broadway and 15th by the Aztec Willies too. Thanks to Clayton Cole trying to do voodoo, but it backfired on him. The airbag, everything came off. That car was destroyed, and I'm hopping out of the car like, oh man, that was a crazy ride. That's how I hopped out. And then he over there, oh, oh, holding his stomach like, damn, I've even felt bad for his ass. I was like, nigga, you thought the rituals weren't gonna come back on your ass. Even though I lost my car, I shouldn't have rolled with his ass. That was the part I should have left him alone, but I didn't. Was still trying. I was at that time. I cared about not being alone. I saw 5555 when I before I said that. But yeah, all these individuals I list, I know you had a hand in trying to plan for my downfall, either with witchcraft or, yeah, it was all witchcraft, even if it was just you speaking rumors out of your mouth to get people to coerce people to behave or persuade them to behave a certain way towards me or any other individual like me. I already know. Some of you I never got the chance to tell you. If you ever see this video or you get wind of it, now you'll know. And then you'll realize now all women are stupid like you are.